Tusks up, Utah Mammoth fans, and welcome into your Utah Mammoth Daily update for today. So we have a center crunch. A lot of guys are injured on the Mammoth, just like every other hockey team, but for the Mammoth, it has mainly to do down the center. We're in year two of Utah hockey, but yeah, we've got some problems down the middle already, and it's just the preseason. So we've got Spicy Tuna, he's out. Alexander Kerfoot's out. Those two guys are out week to week. And then we have Logan Cooley, Jack McBain, and Barrett Hayton out day to day. With Logan Cooley being the most worrisome among those. The other two guys are just regular bumps and bruises when it comes to hockey. But Andre Turgeon said he hoped it would be a quick time out for Logan Cooley after the dirty hit against Colorado. So we'll see what happens there. This is where expansion teams usually get exposed. And let's face it, Utah basically is an expansion team. The Coyotes just were not very good. So I'm treating this team as an expansion team. Centers aren't just face-off guys, though. That's what a lot of the casual hockey fans think. That's what a lot of my friends who are new to hockey thought. And just the face-off guys, and then they're just the big dudes in front of the goalie causing a mess. They're a little bit more than that, but that's a good way to look at them when you start watching hockey. They drive lines, they run special teams, and glue the forward group together. Take too many of them out, and you're suddenly duct taping your entire team. So today, let's chew on what the Mammoth can do about it. We'll start with the kids internally, and then we'll look to a few veteran options that I like. One that is just not going to happen, but one I would like to see. And these guys are all unrestricted free agents, too. So this isn't like me dreaming up trade options for guys like Mason McTavish. Yeah. But these are the unrestricted free agents that are out there. So, and then I will also add in a little nugget from ESPN's bold predictions list that they gave out recently for every team in the NHL, but obviously we're going to zero in on the Mammoth. So let's buckle in. This one should be pretty fun. So let's dive into the internal options first. So we've got Cole Bedoin, who is only 19, but he plays like a freight train. If you've watched him in the ECHL, or was it the WJHL? I don't know. But in one of those junior leagues, he was a freight train. Straight lines, heavy forecheck, strong down low in front of the goalie. He's exactly the kind of guy who can moonlight as a fourth-line center while the vets heal up. So he would, in a perfect world, he would be the center, I think. But obviously the world's not perfect, and he's only 19. So only a few 19-year-olds have really splashed onto the scene in the NHL, and most of them are Hall of Fame types. Cole Bedoin is not a Hall of Fame type. He's very good, don't get me wrong, but he's not, your Alex Ovechkins or Sidney Crosby's or anything like that. So let's move on to Julian Lutz. He's more of a winger, but he's versatile and smart enough to slide into the middle if needed, and he's one of those players that GM Bill Armstrong loves, where he's a slash player, so he can play multiple positions and he can fill in where needed. Cameron Hebig was a free agent signing. He's another option. He's not flashy, but he's been around the AHL, and he has bounced up to the NHL a little bit, and he's always been steady when called upon, and he's always had responsible shifts. So that's another one. And then I wanted to throw this in there just to kind of get the pot stirred a little bit, but Tij Iginla, his pedigree is obvious, the name on his back, clearly. And while his future may be on the wing, sometimes injuries open up opportunities that otherwise where the door would be closed shut tightly. So if Tij can seize the opportunity in the spotlight while everyone is out, he gets additional ice time that I'm predicting and hoping that I'm right. I'm just going to say I'm hoping I'm right. He gets a lot of ice time. That is kind of how careers are launched. Not just the name on your back, but how you perform for the name on the front. The catch, of course, is that relying on teenagers and depth guys usually means growing pains, which we've seen here in the preseason so far. The upside, it gives fans and the front office a glimpse of the future while testing who's ready for the NHL. Now let's go for guys that have proven themselves in the NHL and could fit on the roster. So if Bill Armstrong wants experience instead of experiments, that's a fun little turn of phrase that I came up with there. I hope you liked it. Anyway, there are a few veterans still waiting for a call or waiting for the right fit. Let's start with my favorite option out there, the good story, the kind of story that can wrap your career up in a nice bow. Trevor Lewis. He's a Salt Lake City native. He's won the Stanley Cup, and the 37-year-old grinder could finish his career right where it began. He's not filling the net at this stage. He's not scoring a bunch of goals, but he brings leadership, penalty kill reliability, and would be a fan favorite from day one if the, I'm going to say, brilliant marketing team with the Utah Mammoth have anything to say about it. Picture opening night at the Delta Center if this goes right and Trevor Lewis dons the Mammoth jersey and comes out. That could be goosebump material if they could get the story right. Maybe not opening night, but the first night he puts on the sweater and hops on the ice for the Mammoth. That could be a good story. Other names, Andreas Athanasiou. Athanasiou, I don't know why I said it the other way. He's still out there, and he can absolutely fly. He fits in with the system. He's super fast. He's good with the stick and the puck on the stick. He can score goals, which is what the Mammoth really need on their depth lines. Craig Smith is another name. He brings versatility and some sneaky scoring pop that, obviously every team wants in their bottom lines. But my dream one, that really is just daydreaming and pie in the sky, is Nicholas Backstrom. He technically counts as available, but he's playing in Sweden and is the least likely option. And let's be honest, he doesn't really want to play outside of the Capitals. So that's more pie in the sky thinking. Of all these, Lewis makes the most sense culturally and emotionally, and it can put a couple extra butts in seats if you spin the narrative right. Sometimes the right move isn't about numbers on the stat sheet. It's about planting deeper roots in Utah, and Lewis is as local as it gets. He's one of two guys that were born in the state of Utah that have played meaningful minutes in the NHL. So it'd be just a really cool story and kind of bring everything together. But let's move it on to optimism. Let's close with that. ESPN dropped their season preview, and get this. Maybe they listened to the show. I don't know. They have the Mammoth making the playoffs. I have the Mammoth making the playoffs, but that has more to do with Homer mentality than anything else. And you heard that right. Last year, after the Four Nations face-off, Utah went 14-8-4. That's playoff pace, but as I keep saying, and as everybody saw, St. Louis went nuclear down the stretch and stole the last wild card. I'm not going to say stole. They earned it, but they stole it. Even so, Utah flashed serious upside thanks to Logan Cooley and Dylan Guenther's growth, the best season of the captain's career, and Karel Vejmelka standing on his head in net in some games and proving that he is an NHL quality goaltender. This season, they've added J.J. Peterka for more firepower, Brandon Tanev for grit, and Nate Schmidt to stabilize the blue line and to bring in eternal optimism. The guy is always in a good mood. So that's really great additions, I think, to the core that Bill Armstrong has been protecting like a father grizzly and his Cubs. Vejmelka now has a backup in Vitek Vanacek, and, the team finally has a name and a brand new facility, and they're building their identity. So this is the perfect time for them to make the playoffs. There are other teams that are sliding back down, and the Mammoth are just building up. So Utah hasn't hosted a playoff game yet. That changes this year, but ESPN is calling it as well. That changes this April. Keller may be the face of the franchise. Lawson Krause may be the locker room sheriff. And the Mammoth finally give Salt Lake City a taste of playoff hockey. That's awesome. And I can't wait to watch it all unfold this year, and I hope you can't either. I'll see you guys tomorrow.